Welcome back to another episode with Mystic Scales and Fae
And
Tales
Faye Tales
Podcast.
Podcast. Hi,
I'm Jen.
everyone. I'm Lee.
You always do that. You don't let us say our
I
names.
know. I know. I mean, we should have a routine by now, but we don't. It's okay.
It's
We keep it
okay.
quirky. We mix it up for everyone. What are we talking about today?
Welcome back to another mini episode with the Mystic Scales and Fae Tales Podcast. If it's your first time, we are a fantasy and dystopian and romance podcast.
Yeah, we've kind of
Oh,
evolved. Evolved. No.
who knows?
Uh,
And normally on our mini episodes, we've been doing a series for the last couple months called the Ali Hazelwood mini episode series, where we review Ali
mhm.
Hazelwood's books. And we have done for the winter time season, because it's the holidays. We've done some Ali's for that. Um,
True.
but we took a break from Ali because we have a another book club on the app Fable called our Mystic Scales and Fairy Tales side quest. And those are where we read books that just been wanting to read for a while that aren't part of the big series we're reading in the main book club, or just one-offs or small duologies, whatever the case may be. So we asked the group, and it's a small group of like 10 of us, what we want to do. And we said holiday reads. So we went searching to see what is most accessible for our group, because we don't always want to make
Mm,
everyone buy a bunch of books.
fair.
Usually
Yep.
we try to let our people know beforehand so they can do Libby holds, but also a lot of people in our group have Kindle Unlimited. We decided to, we look at all the popular, all those lists of all of the books that everyone posts about, of like read this
So
holiday season, and
many.
then I have like slides of like 15 books per page, and it's like 4 pages long, and I'm like, I can't read
My gosh.
40
Yeah.
books within the month of like November, December, and January, like whatever.
No.
um and one of the most popular ones was Holiday Romance by Catherine Walsh. And lucky enough for us, it was, or is, I don't know if it still is, on Kindle Unlimited. And
Hmm.
so a lot of our group was able to read off of that. And then I had the lucky, because Lee has Kindle Unlimited and I have Audible. I was lucky enough that on Audible they put it on sale for the holiday season for like a couple bucks. So I got
Yes.
the audiobook, and we dived in. So on today's, all that to say, today's episode we will be reviewing Holiday Romance by Catherine Walsh.
Yeah. And I just have to laugh because like you say that we have this Fable book club and we just can't help ourselves to like create another one and just to be like, what other book do we need to be reading? What other kind of platform do we need to be reading on? So
Well, it's more
please,
of just like me and you talk, and we're like, okay, we want to do some holiday reads. And we're like, well, let's ask other people if they want to do it with us, like if other people are doing it.
truly.
And like, I think
Hmm.
secretly as well, it's a great, like, Fable's also a great way for me to like take notes for the books.
Oh,
So then when we talk
sure.
about them to review them, or
Hmm.
just in general, like as I listen, I go through like each chapter and I write like a reaction or a note down. So
Hmm.
that's also why I love that we have that, because we have like three.
We
Um,
do.
so
We
it's
do.
just nice to do that. And like I said, you never know who wants to read the same book as you. So like, why
It's true.
not? And the
It's true.
series take long, so
Yeah, and I think this one, like the side quest, didn't that start as like just you and I, and then we like branched out and like asked other people if they wanted to join? Was
yeah,
that the
because we
one?
were reading Wild Reverence, and we knew that no, it started because our main book club read Divine Rivals, and then we were like,
Hmm.
okay, um, we're gonna read Wild Reverence, but then it was at the same time as like this stuff with like Book of Azrael was ending, and then Brimstone. So we were like, okay, we'll make a side group for anyone that actually
Hmm.
really wants to read it. And the one that you're talking about is the other one we made with us starting Red Rising. And then we were like,
Oh, okay.
hey, it was just me and you. And then we were
Yeah.
like, wait, you guys are reading Red Rising? And then we added some of our friends to it because they were also reading Red Rising. So
Okay.
that just worked out
So,
for that. But yeah, side quest really was just because we didn't want to bring Wild Reverence to the main group.
okay.
Because
Yeah.
it also was like the least, not that Divine Rivals wasn't good, but it was the book that I think got the least like discussion and the least amount of like
Hmm.
interaction from the group. So we just didn't
Yeah.
feel like it was right to bring Wild Reverence to that.
That's fair.
which I
And
didn't even
here we
finish
are.
reading it. I didn't even
You'll
finish
get
reading
there.
Wild Romance yet.
It's a slow one. Like I don't blame
No, I'll
you.
finish it. I'm like 50%
So
in.
there you go. Okay, so all that being said, like holiday romance is actually part of a series. Um,
We didn't
so
realize that when we started it.
no, but it's holiday romance, and then it's snowed in, and then the like short stories, The Merrily Ever After, that actually came out this year. It came out in November of 2025.
And
So
it's in like the
we're,
same universe.
yeah, yeah. So we're right on track. But I was gonna say like I I have blown through them. I'm so sorry. Uh, but I have not commented as much in the club. And
Well,
I
we
think
only
that's
changed
mostly,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm reading for vibes, so obviously it's a good read if I'm just like cruising right along. So
Yeah, I have not. I
anyways,
only finished Raleigh Romance. I did not finish Snowden. Did you finish the novellas already too?
I'm halfway.
And they're on Kindle
So
Unlimited?
hmm
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. And I actually found, so I listened to half of Holiday Romance, and Holiday Romance will read the caption or whatever, but it is, the main characters are Irish, and then they go back to Ireland. So like listening, you get the accents and everything, and that was fun. But there was something for me about like the romance part of it that I wanted to like physically read it, so I switched. So I switched to Kindle and I've read everything since on Kindle. So we
No,
can
I
dive in
love
and then get
the
your
audio.
yeah.
Yeah, I love the audio. I think the actors did a great job. I think it brought out like how funny the characters are, which we'll get into. Um,
Mm.
like, and it was so immersive them having the accents because that just would have been weird if they didn't. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
I thought it was like I loved doing the audio. Not that I wouldn't have loved reading it, but for me, it actually there were some books where I'm like the audio just like made it better for me, and I think
Mm.
that for me was this one.
It's interesting. So okay, tell us about it.
Okay, so she's meant to be catching flights, not catching feelings. Molly and Andrew are just trying to get home to Ireland for the holidays when a freak snowstorm grounds their flight. Nothing romantic has ever happened between them. They're friends, and that's all. But once a year for the last 10 years, Molly has spent 7 hours and 15 minutes sitting next to Andrew on the last flight before Christmas from Chicago to Dublin, drinking terrible airplane wine and catching up on each other's lives. In spite of all the ways the two friends are different, it's a holiday tradition neither of them has ever wanted to give up. Molly isn't that bothered by Christmas, but in yet another way they're total opposites. Andrew's a full on fanatic for the festive season, and she knows how much getting back to Ireland means to him. So instead of doing the same thing and just celebrating the holidays together in America, she does the stupid thing, the irrational thing. She vows to get him home, and in time for his mam's famous Christmas dinner. The clock is ticking, but Molly always has a plan. And as long as a high specific combination of taxis, planes, boats, trains, and all run on time, it can't possibly go wrong. What she doesn't know is that as the snow falls over the city and over the heads of two friends who are sure they're not meant to be together, the universe must have a plan of its own. A totally gorgeous and escapist friends to lovers festive romance with a swoon worthy hero.
It's cute, but it's also traumatizing. Um
Yeah, for Lee and I this last year went to Europe together, and we had so many travel issues that reading this was very traumatizing in terms of like bringing back so much PTSD of any kind. If you've experienced any kind of travel mishap in your life,
mm,
with planes, this is probably like a book you should be aware of that you're gonna get triggered because
literally
the nice
warning.
thing is obviously we have like the romance and the stories takes you away from it, but then you're like, I think it actually made me less stressed reading it because I've learned after all of my terrible plane experiences that I still have to this day. I'm terrible at flying for some reason. Um,
Not your fault.
Not my fault at all. I just have
No.
that luck. Like I have the luck that, I mean, this is off topic, but I have the luck that like I'll get on a plane and they'll literally be like, which is this just actually just happened. They'll be like, we don't have enough fuel in the left wing, so we have to wait for fuel. And you're like, why did I even get on the plane? Why did I get on
Right.
the plane? I've
Why
had it
was
happen where
that
I get on
not
the plane.
checked?
Literally, I've had it happen where I get on the plane and like one of the overhead bins won't close for like 2 hours and we're sitting there trying to close it. Yeah, there's a lot of things I have bad luck with. But because of that, I think I have become so numb to it that I'm just like, what can you do? Like, you can't really do anything other than like be really pissed. So, like, reading what they're going through, I'm just like, if I was in their situation, I'd be like, well, it snowed. Like, what can you do?
Oh
Which
my
is funny
God.
reading the back of the book out of them being like, instead of doing the sane thing of staying home, I'm like,
Hmm.
that's where the romance and the adventure
The
comes in.
adventure. Yeah. I think at the beginning I was like, are they just gonna spend like Christmas together in Chicago? Like, is it a snow day? But that's the second one. Um, when they got the setup to go to Buenos Aires, like what? That was like go there to go to Paris to then go to London
Yep,
to then go to Dublin.
yep, yep.
Yeah, that was
They went literally all over the world just to get to
truly.
that one place. Instead of going across, they went down, up, and across, which is insane. Um, but something I really loved about this book is they have this intertwine of throughout the chapters of seeing all of their flights throughout their 10-year scope. So they met,
Mm,
as a
hmm.
little spoiler, but gives great background, because her college roommate that she first had, which she hated, but like felt like you had to be friends with because you just started, which is so relatable, was dating him. And she found out right before she got on the flight that the friend was cheating on him.
Hmm.
And then so then she saw him on the flight and she's just like, fuck, I know this information. And then he gets a call from the girlfriend because she decides to break up with him right there and then in front of Molly. And she tried to distract him from going on the phone. And it was so awkward and so funny. It was like
It
so
was
funny.
it was
Um,
great.
and that's how they met. And then like the next year, they're still there at the same plane because they got back home to Dublin. So
Hmm.
then their friendship eventually starts. But you learn all of this throughout, and I love that. Like as the chapters go on and you're in the present day, you also get like the chapter will start and it'll be like, um, blah 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 years ago, Chicago, flight 6, flight
Hmm.
4, flight and whatever, and you get to see like
Hmm.
how the relationship has formed over the years, and also like the nuggets of the romance being there from the start because they just like denied it,
Yeah.
and I love that, and also like I think it's kind of like in a way you're in Molly's head because she's not like narrating it like in year 6
No.
this happened. But you get to
Right.
like see like I'm sure these memories are flashing through her head as she's experienced all this with him and the puzzle pieces
Hmm.
are coming together. So you're
Hmm.
kind of like in her head doing that with her and I
Hmm.
like loved that because you see
Hmm.
how it comes together.
Yeah, it definitely it flowed very well, which is interesting because like, we talked recently with one of Ali's short stories about that kind of back and forth with time, and we didn't feel like it worked so well, but this one it just really does. And you're right, it treats it as like a flashback, but
Mhm.
like in the moment. So yeah,
Yeah,
it
that's like
was
if you see in a movie and like they're talking and she maybe sees something and then it reminds her and she gets like a flashback. That's how it felt.
yeah,
And like that was cool
yeah,
because it like connected in a way to whatever was happening in
mm-hmm,
that chapter. Because you get to also see like Molly realizing like he talks about his alcohol trouble and you see
mm-hmm,
that throughout the like years past because she's at first she's
mm-hmm,
like surprised by it and she was like what this has been happening and then when you see the flashbacks like maybe it's Molly also seeing those flashbacks and being like oh
mm-hmm,
yeah like I just
yeah.
and she feels bad in a way for not noticing that
Noticing.
about him.
Right, right. Yeah. Um, what did you think of this might be jumping too far, but uh the cousin in London, Oliver?
Oh, he was crazy.
I thought that was a nice little it's obviously like a drop because he's one of the stories later. Um,
Oh, got it, got
but
it, got it, got
it's
it.
like a setup, right? But I thought that he was very cute, very fun. He's just kind of like a wild card. I also love that Andrew his family is so like overly festive and he really like leans into it and Molly is just kind of like yeah we don't really do that and she and her sister buy each other like the worst
Oh my
gifts
God, I loved
possible.
that. Loved that. But I love how like throughout this story, because of Andrew's like obsessiveness and his family, it makes her realize with her family that like she just always had these assumptions of them,
Mm,
and they're not always true because her mom really says like we're so happy you came over for Christmas, and Molly's like why? She's like
hmm.
because it's the best part when you're here, and she's like even if her family doesn't do these like commercial things, they still love the joy of Christmas of being together and spending time
Yeah.
together. And so then it kind of makes Molly realize, like, oh, maybe I'm just like assuming that like they hate this holiday or assuming so much. When in reality, like they actually do love some aspects of it. And then you see that with the end of the book when they come with the sweaters or whatever her
Oh my
mom is
gosh.
wearing, and they're like, "What are you
Yes.
wearing?" And it's still like
Oh my
uncomfortable for them and
gosh.
funny for them. Like they make fun of it, but
Hmm.
it's sweet to see like that Andrew not only affects like her mindset with her family, but also like affects her family for them to all like open up more. And like that's
Hmm.
really sweet that like this person is
Hmm.
changing you, but not only your family. Like that's
Hmm.
crazy. They're so impactful.
Yeah, that they could come together. I was surprised that the like travel part of it really wasn't the whole book. Um,
Yeah. I
it's
love
kind
that
of,
though.
yeah, it's kind of only like half because they make it to Ireland. And
Mhm.
then you're like, oh, like what happens now? But then you get to see more of that, like her with his family and then her with her own family and like his own family. Like you enter, sister, two brothers, like mom and dad, they have a farm. There's like so
Yeah.
much more to the story. I think when I went into this, I was like, this is just, it's gonna be a cutesy, like little short story, whatever. But it's like a full-fledged, like it's a real novel.
No,
Like,
it's very
yeah.
deep. I also will
Yeah.
say I loved how like even with the travel they we didn't really get like time with them like on the plane really.
Mm,
That was just like when the flashbacks, but with all this mishaps like you got them more like there was in the airport, but then also like when they went to London and they got to like explore and go around and they did that in Paris too. So you
oh
got more
yeah.
of like them spending time together and experiencing these things and
Hmm.
like having their moments and their romance moments. And I appreciate that. I feel like I didn't need it also kept the story moving, but it kept it like fresh and adventure, and it didn't feel like because I feel like this is very easy to go, oh, they're stuck traveling. Let's like have like 3 chapters of them on the plane just talking, and that would be like
Right.
boring, you
Right.
know.
Yeah.
So it kept it
Yeah.
fresh and going. So I feel like she just had a really clever plot.
Hmm. And she was able to kind of like go through a whole relationship, even just like in the travel, because like obviously there's going to be the points where one of them gets crabby, one of them like can't handle it and they kind of break down. And then there's a moment where like, well, so they kiss in Chicago, right? There's mistletoe.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously like Molly can't, like she freaks out and she can't
She
stop
can't
thinking
process
about
it.
it. Yeah. So then Andrew is like, well, let's just do it again. Like, and he like comes up in her space. And
I
obviously,
love
like,
that.
it's more than, but you're getting like that little bit of romance too. So it was very cute and just kind of very, like, she had it all together, which made it just great.
I loved also how like Molly was so surprised, but it was so sweet how like how much her family like when she was at his family like they just like knew her,
Oh,
and she's like
yeah.
realizing how much Andrew talks about him like her, but then like
Mm-hmm.
also the same because when he was there with her family like they also felt like they knew him, so it's like
Mm-hmm.
it gave so much like I don't want to say foundation, but like it did give like a lot of foundation for the two of them,
Mm-hmm.
and it just felt more special. It felt like that's why she kept being like, we need to start from the beginning. Like we're going too fast, and he's like, but like we don't. Like we just had
Yeah.
10 years of
Yeah.
friendship. Like we don't. We like what are we gonna do? Go on a first date and like me asking what your favorite color is? Like I know that
Right.
already.
Right.
So like that's something I loved about it, and that's like the whole friends to lovers trope. But I
Mm-hmm.
love that it wasn't like friends to lovers and like one was always pining, or friends to
Mm.
lovers because they were like teenagers and then
Mm-hmm.
then they went apart and they came back. Like it was like true friends to lovers where they're just like they never let themselves think that way, and
Mm-hmm.
because of the circumstance like they're not around each other all the time either, which I really really love. That it's more of like they're with each other for
Yeah.
the Dublin for the airport, but then she would talk about like they would email or they would text and like they would
Yes.
sometimes get food, but
Yeah.
like not they didn't hang out often. So I love that too because it was like they're friends, but they're like they still have their own lives. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like it gave more attention to it. So like it would make sense why in the 10 years they didn't come together because they weren't like really forced to like until
Mm-hmm.
this. to really
Yeah.
confront their feelings.
Yeah. I thought that was a good balance because at first I was like, oh, they just see each other once a year on this flight, but like they live in the same city, why don't they? And or like what are the chances they book the same flight? But no, like they were, communicating and they would see each other. So, and I think that is more just like that's how life goes. Like that is how adult friendships work anyways. So,
Exactly.
yeah, I appreciated that too.
Were you
Um,
bothered by the fact that he was like the whole like third act breakup of the going moving back to London? Like were you or London to Dublin?
oh,
Were
to
you bothered
Dublin.
at all?
I was annoyed with her reaction actually
Oh,
when she was
okay.
just like, I'm going home, like to his brother, like take me home. I was like, girl, you don't even know him. Like I know we had some bonding moments and that's cute, but you're really gonna sit in however many hours of the car with this random person just because like Andrew said that. And it did feel a little like out of the blue, like that plot point. It felt
Mm,
like she needed something to like shake things up.
yeah, but it also like made sense to me. Like when he started explaining it in that aspect of like, okay, yeah, like he was like he wanted to do one thing with his career, ended up doing another, and it was
Sure.
just like he like it was like he kind of like lost. I don't want to say what to live for in Chicago, but he lost his footing in Chicago.
Hmm.
And like she was his footing though. And
Mm.
so like if he has to like, you know, if they grow apart or anything, it's just like what's the point of me staying here? Like I could just go
Yeah.
home and be with family and friends and like maybe find himself again in that aspect.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, at first I was like, am I gonna get bothered by this plot point? But it was fine. Like I liked how like quickly it was resolved too. Like
Hmm.
he drove right behind
He just
her,
came.
and the
Yeah.
sister was hilarious as
The
well.
sister. Yep.
So funny. I also love that she's a gay queen. Like she's hilarious.
Oh my God.
So
Yeah.
like that was great. But I also want to talk to you about the baby and the labor scenes
Oh,
and all that stuff. That was
yeah. That
crazy.
was pretty
That was
crazy. Yeah.
crazy.
Her sister was funny too.
Oh my God, so funny. But that was one
Zoe.
of those moments that's like everything happens for a reason, and like I didn't feel like the author threw that in as like a ha 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 this book is crazy. Like I didn't feel like a plot point. It felt
Mm.
like genuinely something that could happen
Hmm.
because like you know when you go through like this travel experience and then you get back and you're just like, "Ugh, everything happened for a reason. Like I wasn't supposed to be there because of this thing." And
Mm-hmm.
it's like this is a situation where like everything happens for a reason, and she needed to be there because her
For
sister was going to give birth
yeah. Yeah.
early. So I was like, this is kind of
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, no, I thought that worked. The one thing I was like a little skeptical on, and this is just me being like cynical, is like Molly's like change of career and like totally support her. Like she didn't want to be a lawyer anymore. She didn't have like passion for it, but like
That was from the
to
beginning. They mentioned that, even
yeah,
from the start of the book.
yeah,
So
but to become like a foodie who like takes like an Airbnb like like I was like, girl, you're not gonna make any money. You can't live in Chicago.
that's why they move in together.
Yeah, they need to. Uh, but
I
no,
thought it
that
was like
was
unique in a way. Like I did like
it
it.
was a
Like if you
follow your
really like go for
dreams.
it,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I do like it. But like I guess like the realistic like turning in our heads, we're like, okay, but how do you keep this going? Like, do you need this and that?
Yeah.
And you know, obviously, like
I
we
mean,
want that more,
it
but
does say like eventually she was able to like hire someone else so she could like have some help, blah blah blah. I just think
yeah.
I think I could have accepted it more if maybe she like wanted to open a bakery or something like that. Like
No,
that
I would have hated
seems
that. It would have been like this is so Hallmark. Like she goes
but
home to open a
that's
bakery and
more
owns a Christmas tree
tangible.
farm.
I don't know.
Is it those? If you don't run that well, you can also get closed down.
I mean, yeah, you need a lot of capital, but in a book like
Exactly.
this, whatever.
I
Uh,
mean, I agree. It was a little reach, but I appreciated that they explained it more, and they were just like, she got her first review. Oh my God, and the gift he gave her was a review. That
oh,
was
that
so
was
cute.
cute. Yeah, that was cute.
And I like
And
how they explained like eventually restaurants come into it. So like it
hmm
makes sense.
And it was nice to see kind of like it was like an epilogue sort of, right? You got to see them
Hmm.
beyond the Christmas, beyond this whole ordeal, just like living their normal life, which, you know, I like that little happily ever after.
And I loved how it was that this year the family's coming to them. I
Mm. Oh
loved that
yeah, at the
addition.
end.
Like that
Yeah.
was so great. Of like,
Yeah.
let's switch it up. Like they don't have to take that Dublin flight anymore. Make everybody else take that Dublin
Right,
flight.
right. Yeah. No,
Which
that
makes sense. After
was
all that, I'd be like, yeah, I need a year off. Like this is a lot.
yeah. Oh my God. I know they probably were like, we're never going to Paris again. We're never like taking a ferry again. I don't want to do this.
Oh, when they explained where they went to go shopping in Paris, like they took a train to this, I was like, oh my God,
Oh,
Lee and I did something similar.
we did. I
I
totally
was like,
forgot they
I
went
feel
to
like I know where they
Paris.
are.
Yeah.
I was like, did I go where they went? I was like, did she go shopping where I went shopping to
I
get a
think
different
we
outfit?
did. Maybe. Oh my God. Yeah. Probably not, but
No. But it sounded very similar. And I was like,
it did.
I
Yeah.
felt this
Same vibes.
specifically.
Very, very cool. Yeah. No, overall, it was very well done. It meshed together very well. They were a cute couple. Molly was
Hmm.
a little ridiculous. And at times, like Andrew was a little ridiculous, which was just funny. And then I think she really set up like a good cast of characters to, as she did, like obviously continue on.
Yeah,
Um,
believable characters too.
yeah, and like ones you were interested in. So,
Yeah, and they all go through their own journey in this, which is great. Like you see Molly go through this whole self-discovery of like speaking up for what she wants and like doing what she wants and not just like putting herself to the side and also like accepting her family more and then like the family going through the journey of accepting like we just love to be around each other and then Andrew accepting, like he's fighting his own battles, his own demons, but he could do it with everyone by his side. Like there's so
hmm
much nuances to this story and I
hmm
loved that because it's not again, like you said in the beginning, it's not just like a fluffy holiday romance that you're just like, the title, that you're just like, I'm going to pick up because I want to read during the time of the holidays. And I think it was great to read during the time of the holidays. Like, it's so relatable.
hmm
Like, I
hmm
loved that. And you can get the like Christmas feeling from it, but like it's not too much Christmas either. It's not like down
No.
your throat where
Yeah.
it's just like he just really loves Christmas and he wants to go home for Christmas and then like they
Yeah.
experience the joy of Christmas together. But it's not like Hallmarky where it's annoying. So like
Right.
I feel like it's a good balance too, especially if you don't celebrate Christmas or you don't really care for Christmas. Like I think this was like a good balance of that kind of book.
hmm And then I know you were talking about wanting to go to Dublin. Did this like reinvigorate you or like
Oh
inspire
my
you in any way?
God. Yeah, we're definitely still planning that Dublin trip. That was like way before I started reading it, and it was nice to like talk about it, like think about the trip while I'm reading it because I was just like, oh my God, I'm so excited. Like I want to go so bad to Ireland. I'm so excited to go eventually. Like, my partner is Irish, and this is like, they're Irish Americans, so they're not born there. But like, it's so exciting to like be able to experience that and like listening to these people talk about it, and like they're just so funny, and like just it's also the way they describe the places they visit and like it's nice that we get to see like Dublin but also see like where Andrew lives more on the countryside. It's like all of it was so beautiful and I was just like reading it and I was like, oh my God, they're describing this perfectly. I can't wait to go. And I'm also
Yeah.
going to London before that. I'm going
Oh
to
my God,
London
yeah.
soon.
Duh.
So like them going to London, I was just like, oh my God, I'm going to London soon. So it's just
hmm
like it
It's
was
like a
great to like
trifecta.
see the
Yeah.
world. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
Um,
also like this is really random, but I really love that it was a Christmas story that like wasn't in America because I feel like I don't know, we just been reading like a lot of stories set in America recently,
hmm
which is fine. Like it's great
hmm
we live here, but like it's nice to like get other perspectives in other places too.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that.
I haven't looked up Catherine Walsh, but I'm gonna assume she's Irish. Uh, and I loved that she would have like Irish like colloquial phrases and stuff, like things that we wouldn't
Mm,
say. I don't have an example off the top of my head, but like just like you know how they call sweaters a jumper or something like that, but like she would say things
mm-hmm.
and I felt like, oh, like I'm learning. Like this is how like the Irish talk about Christmas or whatever. So that was cool. just kind of a little different take on it, just like you're saying, which I enjoyed.
I just looked her up. She lives in Ireland where she writes full time and slowly destroys her lower back.
Me too,
So
girl.
she has in her thing. Um, and so, oh, also, like speaking of, as we like end this up, she just came out, or coming in spring of 2026, is not a holiday read. So this will be really cool to try out.
Hmm.
Um, it's called How to Write a Love Story.
Oh.
Um, and it's one writer, one editor, one hot summer. Will this be a romance for the books? Sierra Sheridan's father has left her with three things: a sprawling and distinctly ramshackle estate on the Irish coast, the outline for the final for his best epic selling fantasy series that he wanted her to finish, and writer's block. Enter
Hmm.
Sam Avery, Frank Sheridan's fanboy and a hotshot editor, sent from the New York publishing house direct to Kiara's, it might be Sierra, sorry, I'm reading Kiara, Sierra's doorstep against Sierra's wishes, and red pen at the ready. With the deadline looming, Sierra and Sam have just a few weeks to stop bickering, write this novel, and secure Frank's legacy. But as summer heats up, too does this tension between them. Will their own love story be the plot twist neither of them see coming? So
Cute.
we can read her in the
I love
springtime.
it. No, that sounds like
I'm
it's very
excited
like
for that.
Emily Henry, but I really like her, so I'm into it.
This might be an author for us to watch. A new
Hmm.
romance author to watch.
Yeah. Now that we have our added little romance, you know.
Thing. Yeah, we're gonna get a T-shirt of all the authors. We're like, ooh, we love this author. We love this author.
Oh my God, that'd be
So that would
cute.
be great. But yeah, that's a wrap on holiday romance. Like I said, we were really, really excited to do this, and it turned out great for our book club. It turned out great for us. So
Yeah.
really happy and glad we did it, and we will continue reading the rest of her novels. And we hope that you guys are great, we hope that you guys are having a great holiday season and winter season and being safe and happy and healthy. And we wish you all the best this holiday season. Make sure to follow us on the app Fable and our book clubs. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and all of the above. Join us for our full episodes to read all the books with us and our mini episodes. We will get back to Allie, we promise. But we hope and we just want to say happy holidays and we hope you have a great holiday break.
Yes. And
And
have
happy
happy
reading!
reading.